Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing week 2 of the NFL preseason. We're talking right now with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. And if you're a regular viewer, you know that Joe Duffy went 10-3 against the spread for free in our videos in week 1. You have to include, of course, the Hall of Fame game loss. So officially 10-4 against the spread in his free pick so far in the preseason. Joe Duffy, the record speaks for itself. Thanks for being back with us.
Thank you. And we're 6-2 with our premium plays, our highest rated plays to our clients.
Awesome. Like it's nothing. All right. Give a plug for OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe Duffy, tell everyone where they can find you if they want to sign up.
Yeah, at OffshoreInsiders.com, like I said in the preseason, the gap between certainty and uncertainty is the biggest in the preseason. The odds makers despise uncertainty, and the way to beat them is with the certainty, which we do have at OffshoreInsiders.com, but we're going to be winning regular season as well. 27th football season in the business.
There you go. That's why Joe Duffy is who he is. All right, let's get right into it. The Thursday game, Jacksonville, Chicago. Now, we were supposed to preview this game yesterday, and yesterday the line was Jacksonville +4. And when I was doing my research, I have a note here, loving Jacksonville here at +4, ? Now it's down to 3.5, so maybe that is the initial thought of the market as well. You know, I know that Chad Henne is supposed to play the entire first half, and then Blake Bortles, who's looked very good, is supposed to play the entire second half. Now the Bears are looking, in general, pretty comfortable this year. They look like they have more depth this year, so they're looking pretty good. But, week 2 preseason game like this, should they really be more than a field goal favorite?
Well, in this game, I'm actually going to go with the total. I agree with what you said. A half a point when it's not moving off or on a key number. Now, if it goes down to 3, all of a sudden, that half a point becomes pretty big. There are a lot of question marks in this game. Looks now like Chris Conte, the Bears' safety. He had 40 starts over the last 3 years. Earlier in the week, it was up in the air. The tea leaves seem to point towards him going to play, but I think it is going to be a true game-time final decision. Chicago definitely did some upgrades on their defense. They got Lamar Houston and Willie Young, Gerard Allen in the offseason. They did draft some players, including first-rounder Kyle Fuller. Their backup quarterbacks have been so-so, but they've really got to find out who their backup quarterback is. So I do think that they're going to be putting the ball in the air a lot. Remember what I always say, betting totals is a lot more about pace, and if they're going to put the ball in the air. So it might be, some sloppy playing, but still, I expect a lot of passes in this contest as the Bears got to find out. They have an interesting battle between two so-so backups, Jordan Palmer and Jimmy Clausen, and it looks like they're going to flip-flop this week. So they're trying to really turn it, Mark Trestman is, into a little bit of a quarterback battle. The Jaguars, as you said, they're going to test their quarterbacks. Is Blake Bortles going to be ready for week 1? Probably not, but I do expect them to put the ball in the air quite often. They might not even go, as you said, with their 3rd or 4th string running backs. But all in all, systems work pretty well in the preseason because it shows tendencies, how teams are going to be mentally affected by how they performed in the first game. And when you have a road team coming off of a game with a turnover margin of +2 or better, it's actually going over at a pretty impressive 66-32 rate, and that's reaches some statistical significance. So all in all, I do expect a lot of passes in this game, plus a nice computer system. The over is going to be my play.
Awesome analysis, Joe Duffy. All right, now I want to ask you a quick question about totals in general in preseason week 2, because since this is the Thursday game, first game of the preseason, some people are going to be watching this and wondering about it. A lot of people have noted that the week 2 preseason totals just across the board look very, very high, much higher than in years past, and some people are just not sure what to make of it. First of all, what do you think the significance of that is? What's causing it?
Well, I don't think there's any question the fact that, and we talked about it in a couple videos last week, where the NFL said they're going to enforce the rules as far as contact on the defensive backs, less than 5 yards, and there's no question they've been throwing the flags a lot more. But here's the thing. I think last week's games won under something like a 12-4 rate, and I think part of that reason is the coaches on offense, they're not ready to exploit that. I think they're really holding out until the regular season before they really exploit that rule on the offensive side of the ball. And I don't think that anyone is going to pass the ball anymore in the preseason because of that rule, because coaches aren't so much worried about winning games or covering games. They're more worried about just looking at what talent they have and see how guys are. And I don't think that any coaches are going to pull out all the stops. I don't look for anyone to try to exploit that. So, yeah, with the high totals, I think there is a reasonable explanation, and it is because of those rules where a lot more flags are being thrown. But Whether or not coaches are going to exploit that, I don't think so. So we may see some over-adjusted, bloated totals, and it might be a good week for some unders to take advantage of some of the higher lines.
All right, Joe Duffy, that's what I'm thinking as well. But you recommend a play on the over 42 here in Jacksonville, Chicago. You have excellent reasons for that. Your record speaks for itself. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Thanks so much for one more great video with us.